Hi, this is the Netflix series Fall of the House Usher recap. Drugs. And Madeline and Roderick's careless dad. In the wake of gagging him to death, she implodes. Mary McDonnell, who plays present-day Madeline, sees her personality's drive and soul coming from this stunning experience. The absolute last thing she sees her own darling mother do is choke a man and kill him out of torment. These are youngsters who encountered a mother who was equipped for slithering right out of a casket, she said. In the end, you see that she never truly moved beyond it. Feel that is awful. It just deteriorates from here. Episode 2, The Mask of the Red Passing. The most youthful attendant knave to join the faction, Perry, Saurian Sapkota, feels like he has something to demonstrate to his dad and concludes to do as such by tossing a memorable rager. Also, it sure is paramount, on the grounds that it makes him the primary attendant to pass on account of Verna. As his party arrives at the levels of wantonness and intemperance, she works everything out such that the structure's sprinklers downpour corrosive down on the revelers, including Perry. It simply transforms into everybody's living bad dream, said Sapkota. Everybody consumes and it's the Nestle puddle. Episode 3, Murder in the Morn Mortuary. Camille, Kate Siegel, couldn't let her animosity toward her relative, Victorine Lafourcade, Tania mill operator, rest, so she goes to Vic's examination office to uncover more soil on her dishonest tests. All things considered, she gets battered by chimpanzees. Really, her vital crossroads is her demise, right? Said Siegel. She's simply residing this sort of numb presence where she was culled out of lack of clarity and made into an attendant, and afterward wants to overturn her sister's life, not genuinely, as I would rather not murder my sister. However, I simply need to demolish her totally until she's exceptionally troubled constantly. And afterward I get my face ripped off by a monkey. So I would agree that at the time my face is taken out, that would be the zenith of the person. Episode 4, The Dark Feline. After Leo, Rahul Kohli, awakens from a drinking spree with blood-stained hands to find his sweetheart Julius, Daniel Jun, feline wounded to death in their parlor, he knows he's in a difficult situation. He embraces another feline, from Verna, to supplant it. However, at that point he begins encountering upsetting and brutal dreams, assaults from the feline, dead creatures, to the place where he utilizes Thor's mallet, a gift from Chris Hemsworth, normally, to destroy his loft searching for the feline. Thinking he sees the cat out on his gallery, he pursues it in a fury, and tumbles off the edge to his demise in the city underneath. Leo's passing scene was so energizing. I knew that somewhat I would be crushing the condo to bits, searching for this feline that is torturing me, said Kohli. Mike had referenced that we'd utilize a prop hammer from a film giving proper respect, and I would be fundamentally destroying it. So I'd been anticipating doing that for quite a while. It seemed like what individuals pay for those pushing rooms, anything that they're called, where you get to pay to break stuff. At the point when it at last came, it was depleting. It's like, be cautious what you wish for. Wounds herself, at the command of Verna, just before Roderick's, played by Bruce Greenwood in the current day, eyes, on the grounds that the preliminary, needs a superior heart. She's totally silly. That denial kind of leaks into an ever-increasing extent from there. The sky is the limit, mill operator said. Tossing a bookend at Alessandra's head, was not in a spirit of meanness or savagery, said mill operator. She never had any awful aims. Dissimilar to others in this episode, her demise wasn't about that. She genuinely needed to save everybody. No doubt, indeed, so much for that. Episode 6, Goldbug. After the sad send-off of her Goldbug organization, Tamerlane, Samantha Sloyan, gets back to see dreams of Verna, dressed as her doppelganger, reflected back at her in each reflection of her home. She pursues Verna with a fire poker and crushes practically the mirrors as a whole, eventually raising a ruckus around town roof over her bed as she cries about wrecking everything. Furthermore, what occurs straight away? Shards tumble down and wound her to the timeless rest that Verna knows she frantically needs. For her passing scene, Sloyan wore a tackle and worked with a descender rig interestingly. Doing whatever it takes not to look excited in my passing scenes was troublesome, she said. I get to crush everything, which is so energizing. What's more, Verna gives her the choice for only one moment of harmony. I truly do think there is this 1 second where she owns up to herself that she settled on every one of some unacceptable decisions and that she did this to herself. so I might want to think she kicks the bucket with a tad of reclamation, however I could be off base. Assumes control over her, consume care, via horrendous discipline. Think. Medicating her and culling out her teeth with forceps. Getting back to the location of what he sees as his significant other's disloyalty, Frederick directs the destruction of the distribution center where Perry set up his party. Werner gets him in a position to get caught inside as the group thumps down the structure, and a piece of sheet metal swings to and fro till essentially nothing remains of the oldest attendant kid. Freddy kicks the bucket in an extremely horrifying, horrendous way, yet toward the finish of the show, you'll see that he undoubtedly merits that demise, said Thomas. He's defenseless and inclined as a Goliath, sharp item cuts him up into little pieces. Gugino recorded that insane succession affectionately. We shot on a freezing cold concrete floor for the majority, numerous hours, she said. What's more, I took a gander at Thomas, and I was like, all things considered, there's no one I'd prefer be here with than you. He was like, you, as well. Episode 8, The Raven. Roderick's most memorable spouse and just genuine romance, Annabelle Lee, Katie Parker, leaves him after he deceived his feeling of trustworthiness and tossed youthful examiner C. Auguste Dupin, Malcolm Goodwin, under the transport to excel at Fortunato. Auguste, depicted in the present via Carl Lumley, later lets Roderick know that the main explanation he believed him in those days was on the grounds that he confided in the great-hearted Annabelle Lee. As the hovering mother of both Frederick and Tamerlane, Annabelle Lee was crushed to lose care of her youngsters after Roderick pigged out them with cash they couldn't decline. We find in the last episode, when she shows up as a dream to Roderick, that she in a real sense couldn't live without them. Annabelle Lee uncovers that she'd tell individuals, he's rich, when they'd ask how he took her children away. Yet, presently she just sees neediness in Roderick, as he kept their kids from adoration. After she walks out on him, we discover that she kicked the bucket by self-destruction. Episode 8, The Raven. Roderick and Madeline sold their spirits the night they killed Fortunato Chief Rufus Griswold, Michael Trucco, that very night they met Werner, on New Year's Eve 1979. Involving Griswold as a fall fellow to start Roderick's takeover, the twins medicated him the evening of the organization occasion party. At the point when Griswold woke, he observed that they're fixing him behind a block facade in the storm cellar of the new Fortunato building he's developing. His weeps for help were pointless, in light of the fact that special times of year implied nobody would be back in the structure for quite a long time. Yet, he wouldn't last the night in any case. Madeline harmed him with cyanide. Episode 8, The Raven. Roderick loved Lenore, Frederick and Morella's little girl. She had the glow and moral compass of Annabelle Lee, he thought, the best of her without a wrecked heart. She's the person who called 911 and saved her mother from her dad's mercilessness. In any case, she's as yet an attendant, and exemptions can't be made. Her passing gives Werner no pleasure, however she enlightens Lenore concerning all the great her mom does later on account of Lenore's brave decision to save her, prior to permitting the most youthful and most considerate attendant to calmly kick the bucket. She's just 16. Episode 8, The Raven. At the point when the last marks of the end ring in the fall of the place of Usher, Roderick and Madeline toast to the existence they worked in the storm cellar of their mom's home, knowing their chance to go is near. In a callback to how they killed Griswold, Roderick harms Madeline's beverage with cyanide and preserves her so she lives everlastingly. He covers her in a farewell deserving of the sovereign she is, with every one of the fortunes she'd require in life following death. However, similar to their mom before her, this has yet to be addressed. Is Roderick certain she's dead? Episode 8, The Raven. Ends up, perhaps not. After Roderick gives Auguste his last admission, Madeline blasts through the entryway of the cellar and chokes her sibling to death, the same way their mom killed the dad. The young life home disintegrates around them, following through with the task. Auguste remains outside with sickening apprehension, as Werner remains on the destruction sole, regardless of whether not to Roderick's face. Roderick's widow, Juno, Ruth Codd, acquires all that and totally breaks up Fortunato. She reuses it into the Phoenix establishment, where each dollar goes to restoration projects and fixation and recuperation research. Also, the one-time junkie totally weans herself off of Fortunato's mainline drug, Ligadone. The attendant's legal counselor Arthur Pym, imprint Hamill, is captured half a month after the fact, after Camille's previous colleagues give a heap of records to the police. He gives over himself and doesn't express a word with all due respect. He'll bite the dust in jail, having declined his own proposal from Werner to get away without any consequence. Lenore's mom, Morella, recuperates well after she's moved to a legitimate facility. It requires long stretches of techniques and reconstructive medical procedure, however she gets through it. She likewise acquires a fortune when Fortunato breakdowns, and she gives the greater part of it away to abusive behavior at home and misuse good cause. In any case, she keeps to the point of beginning a not-for-profit, setting up parts everywhere. She calls it the Lenore Establishment after her little girl.